It's Archie. I'm on.
Gotcha, Archie. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining today's call. On behalf of the All-State Sugar Bowl, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. Today's call is being recorded. If you would like a copy, email me at johns@sugarbowl.org and we'll get it to you as soon as possible. 19 years ago, the Sugar Bowl worked with the Manning family to create the Manning Award. In talks with the Mannings, it was agreed that a postseason award which takes into account the biggest games of the year simply made sense. Conference championships, bowl games, and now playoff games are the most important games of the year. We have had the opportunity to recognize a great list of outstanding college quarterbacks through the years. And this year, we believe we have the ultimate example of why an award like the Manning Award is needed in college football. In 3 postseason games this year, the SEC Championship, the playoff semifinal at the Peach Bowl, and the College Football Playoff National Championship game, Stetson Bennett completed 73% of his passes for 976 yards and 11 touchdowns, while also running for 3 more touchdowns. He was selected as the most outstanding player in all 3 of those games. At this time, I'd like to turn things over to Archie Manning to talk a little about Stetson and welcome him to the Manning Award family. Archie?
Thank you, John. And first of all, let me say that on behalf of the Manning family, how indebted we are to the Sugar Bowl. It's hard to believe that it's been 19 years. It's been a wonderful experience for our family to honor these wonderful quarterbacks through the years and bring them into New Orleans and celebrate with them and many times with their family. So thank you so much for the Sugar Bowl. It's a real honor today to be part of this. Is Stetson Bennett selected as the Manning Award winner for this year. I think it's one of the great stories ever in college football for a walk-on athlete, quarterback, then leaves and goes the junior college route, walks on again. He's a backup, receives a scholarship, and then, of course, leads his team to 2 national championships. And as John mentioned, just an unbelievable run through the postseason this year. My family, my oldest son Cooper and his family, his son Arch made 4 trips to Georgia in the last year, so had an opportunity on each occasion to spend time with Stetson, get to know Stetson. Arch is just crazy about him and absolutely pinned me down. I was going to do it anyway, but pinned me down to make sure that Stetson was invited to the Manning Passing Academy as a counselor this past summer. And of course, we did have Stetson. We got to know him. We all got to know him better, and it just made this entire journey so much fun for us to follow him through this 2nd national championship in Georgia. So, Stetson, congratulations to you on behalf of my sons, my family, and we look forward to getting you to New Orleans and honoring you in a proper fashion.
Well, Mr. Archie, thank you. Thank you for having me. It has been, one of the honors of my life so far, getting to know you and all your family, especially Arch. He's already a stud, but he's going to be even more one. And that's a testament to the family that you raised and then how they carried on after that. But thank you again for having me on. I obviously couldn't be here without my teammates. And I don't know if you knew this, but I got sacked 9 times this year. So it's easy to throw the ball whenever you're not picking yourself up off the ground. And I think we had the greatest offensive line.
I beat that in one game in Chicago one day. I got sacked 11 times one game. So
in one game.
You should be very proud of that.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah. So Coach Searles, Coach Monk, getting the play calls right, and then those dudes up front, as you know. They don't get the glory. They don't get any of that stuff, but they do it because they love the team. And, they're leaders of this one, and whenever we went because of them. But it really is an honor to accept this award. I agree with the postseason. That's where football is played. And so thank you guys for having me on. Sugar Bowl. Gotten able to talk to you and Peyton and Eli and Cooper, learn stuff, take notes, go back and watch interviews, try to do it like them. I remember my dad telling me when I was growing up, watch Peyton and Eli. They do it right. And so I always did. But this is special for me. Like you said, my story is all over the place. But to be able to be on this Zoom, and I'm excited to get there in person, but to be on the Zoom with you guys, and with the past QBs who've won this award, I think it is the most prestigious quarterback award in the country. You look at the names who's done well post career, and all that stuff. It seems to be pretty consistently that this one gets it right. But anyways, thank you again. I'm excited to get down there and see you guys soon. But
right. John, we got some people gonna have some questions for Stetson.
Yep, we'll have a few questions here for the media on the call. Just use the raise your hand function, or you can also type the question in chat. Our first question is from the chat. Stetson, what are some of your memories from working with the Mannings at the Manning Passing Academy?
it was probably we didn't throw that much. It was mainly about the kids and getting around. But probably the coolest thing for me was, besides the football, we went into a team room, meeting room down there, and they talked about some ball and stuff like that. But it's hard to get into schemes or anything like that real quick. But probably the biggest thing was just meeting all the guys, all the fellow guys. I wasn't highly recruited coming through, and so you'd look across the sideline, and I didn't know anybody. Everybody else would be talking about somebody they met through the camp circuit or some other way, and I never did. And so getting to know all them, we still got a group chat, we text and all that stuff, and so we keep up with each other, we cheer each other on, and it's cool to, after the game's over, to be able to walk across the field and shake your buddy's hand, after that you competed and worked and all that stuff. But that's probably honestly my biggest memory from it, is just meeting all the guys and all those ball players.
We'll next go to Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports. Dennis?
Oh, hey, Stetson. Just wondered what are your next few months like prior to the draft? Where are you training? Who are you training with? Who is your throwing coach? What's that going to be like?
Yeah, I'm going down to Apex Sports down in Fort Worth. Going to get rolling with that, and hopefully they can turn me into a good football player.
Who do you have a throwing coach?
No, I mean not. I mean
Okay.
Not really a throwing coach.
Yeah.
No, but.
Okay. We'll next go to Ed Daniels with WGNO TV in New Orleans.
Hi, Stetson. Good morning.
Ed.
Even in the NFL draft, you're already being discounted. Does that kind of irritate you a little bit, or are you using that for a little motivation, or do you even need that?
No, I mean, I told people, wow, my dog just threw up. We'll clean that up later. But I told people coming out of high school and coming up to Georgia, it's the same concept. I was starting quarterback in high school. People knew my name. It was a small town, but once you get to Georgia, then it's the same thing. And then once you go, hopefully to the NFL, I imagine it's the same thing. People are going to have their opinions. My job is to go out there and play football, get the ball in athletes' hands, and do it consistently and play hard and play to win. People can say whatever. I hear it, but it doesn't really bother me because I don't know. It's you can't listen to them when it's good and then not listen to them when it's bad, and vice versa. And so I just kind of hear it. But I know what I'm supposed to do, what my job is supposed to do, and how to work to be able to perform at that level. And so it's really hard. And so I can't be too focused on what everybody else has to say.
Next, we'll go to Connor Riley from Dog Nation.
Hey, Stetson, hope you're doing well. On Friday, Cedric Von Pran announced that he'd be coming back to Georgia for another year. How important was he to your success being a center and calling out protections? And how much is him coming back going to end up helping the guy that ends up replacing you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be, Ced is that constant, right? He's the consistent. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't do anything. He plays every single play and every single snap, and he wants to. He loves football. And I don't know if he loves his teammates or football more, which is, that's special, especially whenever it's that position, which, like I said earlier, they don't get the credit that they deserve. They don't get, the credit they deserve. And so Sed doesn't care about that because he loves football and he loves his teammates and he's really good at it. And so, whether it's, he's going to help, whoever, Carson, Brock, Gunner, he's going to help an extreme amount, just with, if nothing more than the comfort level, because he's been there. He's been in the biggest stage. He's been in the biggest games, and he's performed, and he knows what it's like to be a leader. And he was that leader for us this year. And, even more so this coming up here, I imagine he knows that, hey, if we're going to do this again, we got to do it right. And so I have no doubt that he will.
Next, we'll go to Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com.
Hey, Stet, congratulations. Do you know yet if you will, have an opportunity to play in the Senior Bowl or any one of the other All-Star games that are out there?
Yeah. Still working on that decision as of right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks.
We'll now go to Mark Weiser.
Hey, Stetson, congratulations on this honor. You and your teammates obviously had a lot to celebrate this month, but you posted on social media about losing in Devin and Chandler about a week ago. I wonder if you can share how that affected you personally and your memories of them.
Yeah, I think, they were both special people. I don't know, it's tough to swallow. I don't know. They'll always be with us, and we won't ever forget them.
Next, we'll go to Gary Smith from the New Orleans Advocate.
Hi, Stetson. You mentioned that the kind of the playoffs are where it's at for importance, but it went more than that this year for you. In your 5 games against the best teams you faced, I think you threw for more than half of your touchdown passes. 15, you rushed for 5 touchdowns. What did that mean to you? And what about you do you feel made you come up so huge in those games?
I don't know. Maybe I need to lock in a little bit more on the other ones. But the big ones, I don't know. I guess we had a good sense of the immediacy of it. If we lose, that's how we viewed the Tennessee game, viewed as a playoff game. Viewed SEC as a playoff game, viewed playoff game as a playoff game, national championship, obviously. We can always, or we could, this season just turn on that switch whenever we needed to as a team, and because of the position and all that stuff, people, talk about, the quarterback more so than other positions. But, I was doing what everybody else did. Everybody else played better. Everybody else turned it up. We had a sense for the moment. We had a sense for what was important, and we had a sense for what would happen if we didn't perform that way, which I think is probably the most important thing. You can want to play hard all you want. But if you realize that, like, hey, we're done if we lose this game, then it's a healthy respect, a healthy fear for the game and for the opponent.
We'll go back to Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports.
This is one for Stetson and one for Archie. Dovetailing off that, Stetson, how do you think these last 2 years will be remembered, not only in Georgia history, but in college football history? And then for Archie, I only raised this because it was mentioned on the championship telecast. Stetson can't ever be eligible for the Hall of Fame because he wasn't a first-team All-American. Is there any chance you think there's any chance to address that? Does that need to be looked at?
It possibly could, Dennis. There are other situations, with people who have had outstanding college careers, and for one reason or another. Well, the main reason, because they weren't a first-team All-American, which that's what it says.
Right.
Of course, you can really get along with this conversation. It's really come into play, a little controversy on it with coaches, or with the 60% rule.
Yeah.
And some outstanding coaches who took over bad programs and then had a lot of success, but never got above the 60%, and they weren't able to. So we dealt with that. So, and if you really think about it, what happens also on the first team All-American thing, you pick, usually we cut it down. There's just 5, I think, that are recognized, 5 different All-American teams. So, a quarterback, you can have a consensus quarterback, you can have a consensus center, tight end, but they pick 2 guards, they pick 2 tackles, they usually pick 2 or 3 wide receivers, 2 defensive ends, 2 defensive tackles. So centers and tight ends and quarterbacks kind of get the short end of that a little bit too. So it could be kicked around. There's certainly people out there, Stetson would be a great example, who had a unbelievable, memorable, hard to compare college career, and yet not eligible. So we'll see.
Okay, thanks. And then Stetson, that question about history.
Yeah. Again, I'll let y'all people who are good at writing write about that. But I think for me, I hope that the people who were around when it started and all the way to when it finished, and it's going to keep going. In Georgia, Coach Smart's not going to go anywhere. But the fans who were there and the players who were there, the ones Nick and Sony, all those ones that came before us, the fans that traveled to Notre Dame in 17, overtook that stadium when we went to the Rose Bowl that same year. I hope that, everybody can remember what it was like on that ride, because it was nuts. It was nuts. Them hating me hating them, us falling in love together, coming back, playing football. I mean, it was Dennis, you were there. It was special, and I wouldn't change a single thing. I don't think I'd be here without it being that way. I hope that that everybody who was there and everybody who was with me and everybody that I was with just knows that I appreciate the heck out of it. Everything. And I don't know how it's going to be remembered in posterity, but I do know that I appreciate it, and I enjoy going and looking at it all, and I don't know, I took a few days a little bit ago just to kind of think about it and be like, you know what, that was, I don't know if you guys ever seen The Last Waltz, but I think that game against TCU was kind of that. It was an ode to an era that is over now, but it was pretty special whenever it happened.
We have one final question. This is from the chat box. You kind of just mentioned this, but you've had an amazing string of accomplishments. What does it mean to wrap up your college career with a national award like the Manning Award?
Yeah, you know, people throw out compliments a lot, but, you know, and I don't know about First Family, but they are the family that you think of when you think of football and you think of, you know, integrity and doing it and, you know, over generations, you know, and part of that's, you know, playing quarterback and part of that's just who they are. You know, it was whenever got to go down to Manning camp, you know, it's almost different than every other camp. You know, it means something because you know that in 20 years it'll still be there, right? And that's a testament to the character, and you know, longevity is built from character. It's not built from right. It's built from truth and solid people. And you know, I couldn't think of a higher honor of an award. You know, besides being elected a captain, this is very special, and thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, Stetson, and thank you, Archie, as well, and thanks to the media. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you down here in New Orleans when we can work out a date with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Stetson. Thank you, buddy.
Archie.